Philadelphia Baseball History presents... Could baseball be back by May? It leaked earlier this week that Major League Baseball was considering a plan to possibly begin the baseball season in May. The plan calls for players, coaches, umpires, and other necessary personnel to come to Arizona and remain isolated while the season is continuing. Access to the players would be tightly restricted, and the players would essentially just travel back and forth between the hotel and the stadiums. Arizona was being considered because there are 10 spring training facilities, all in Maricopa County, along with the Arizona Diamondback Stadium, Chase Field, and the Arizona Municipal Stadium, all within a 50-mile radius. About 90 miles away, in Tucson, are 2 additional facilities. This was preferable to Florida, where the major league facilities could be spread out as far as a couple hundred miles. There would be no fans in the stands. Players would not be using the dugouts. Rather, they would be sitting in the stands at least 6 feet apart. An automated strike zone would be used so that umpires would not need to peer over the catcher's shoulder to call balls and strikes. Also, in order to try to fit in a full 162-game season, 7-inning doubleheaders would be used. Reportedly, the Centers for Disease Control, the Department of Health and Human Services, and the National Institute of Health were all supportive of the idea. Most owners were supportive of the idea because, without games, they make no money. And baseball is an $11 billion a year industry. Critics of the plan say that it would rob necessary resources from the medical personnel who need them now. But Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic points out that each team already employs its own physicians. Major League Baseball has also stated that it would not want to implement a plan that would rob resources that were necessary to fight the disease. There is hope that by the time this plan is placed into action, widespread testing would be available. To guard against possible injury as well as wear and tear on the players, it is expected that rosters would be expanded. Some are saying that the rosters would include the full 40-man roster for each team. Others are saying rosters may be expanded as much as 50. Currently, the Players' Union has not agreed to this plan. One issue is that the players would have to be kept in isolation for about 4 months. This would mean no access to their families for a long period of time. Players such as Mike Trout and Jarrett Cole have wives who are expecting babies. Being isolated from their families at this time would certainly be very difficult. There has been talk about allowing families into the hotels in the isolation, but the more people who would have to remain in isolation would only further complicate the logistics of this plan. On the other hand, the owners did pay the Players' Union $170 million, which was to cover players' salaries through May. It was understood that if there were no season, that was all that the players were going to be paid. So the Players' Union does have some incentive to work with Major League Baseball to come up with a plan to save the season. The automated strike zone was tried in the Arizona Fall League this fall. It met with mixed reviews. The commissioner had planned to use the automated strike zone in the minor leagues in the 2020 season. 7-inning doubleheaders had also been used in the minor league for quite some time. With a serious crisis on our hands right now, why would we even consider starting the baseball season? It seems trivial. But as so many people in the United States, and indeed in the world, find themselves in isolation right now, we do need to consider the psychological effects. And that includes the availability of entertainment. Back during the Second World War, Commissioner Landis had offered the Franklin Delano Roosevelt to halt baseball while the war was going on. Roosevelt's response was that because the nation was going through a war, people needed a stress reliever now more than ever. You could argue that the same idea applies today. There are no movies and no television shows that are being made, and there really is only so much that you can watch on Disney Plus and Netflix in the time being. Think of it. This nation is so starved for entertainment that we all devoured a mini-series about crazy people who owned tigers and wanted to kill each other in a week's time. And watching old games, like those that Major League Baseball has made available online and that you could possibly find on YouTube, may be an interesting distraction for a while. I certainly enjoy being reminded of just how great a pitch Steve Carlton's slider was. But let's be real. We all know who won the 1980 World Series, and watching it again, while entertaining for a while, is not really as exciting as live sports. If baseball were to resume, it would give the sport an incredible opportunity. It would be the only sport available for some time, and of course would garner the attention of the American people. This could be a chance to expand the sport's popularity among the American people, if not worldwide. Baseball, of course, has issued a statement, not committing to the plan, but stating that it is considering several options about how it may restart the season. Personally, I don't think that the idea would have leaked unless A, somebody wanted to kill the plan, or B, baseball was interested in floating the idea to see what people's reactions were, to see if there were other criticisms and obstacles that it had to face, and then consider it further. So what do you think? Tell me in the comments below. I wrote a more detailed article on this in my blog. I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. The blog article will also list all the references I considered in writing the article as well as making this video. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com. The link is in the description box. We have t-shirts, hoodies, tote bags, mugs, and more with our designs in our merch store. Please visit the merch store at the link in the description box. Please consider subscribing to our channel. Leave a comment if you have any ideas for future videos. Give us a like and click the bell button if you would like to receive notification when we publish videos in the future.